Greetings duelists and welcome to another video. For those who don't know what's going on, YCS Japan in Osaka happened literally last night. I am very unsure if it's a two-day event, uh, but what I can tell you is the way Japan YCS works is every single round is single elimination. They don't like holding events for way too long, especially when you have a lot of players. I also am not familiar with the player size. Once I do have that information, I will update it in the timestamp. The reason I wanted to showcase this match is because I think I already know what deck I'm going to be playing, like next format. And this match showcases one of the decks uh, that I have in mind. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about it. After topping my regionals, I feel like a lot more comfortable focusing on the national season since I have my nationals invite. So it's very, very important to look into the future because by the time our nationals in 2025 is going to come around, we won't have the same format that we have right now. We won't be dominated by Snake Eyes anymore. We won't be dominated by Yubel Tenpai. Granted, if Konami does give us a very cohesive list that actually addresses those decks. But yeah, that's enough rambling. I'm just going to play the video. And I already saw this duel, but I don't remember all the details of it. So my commentary is going to be a little bit botched or to the level of as you would expect from a live reaction. But yeah, uh, let's begin. So the player on the right wins the die roll, and they're gonna go first. And they're setting two cards. And before we continue, whenever you see players set two cards, usually you would think that they're going to end the turn because that is like a custom a lot of duelists are like used to, like setting their cards right at the very end and not at the beginning of the turn. It's one of those details like you see when people are attacking with the highest lowest monster first, like because of Tragoedia and Gores. That is a very simpler, like very similar, like player custom. I don't think that custom is going to be the same right after this, and you'll see in a second why. So yeah, the player on the right is playing Maliss, and the way the Malice monsters work is they all focus around banishing, and the reason the player on the right set two cards before doing their summon is because the Malice archetype is known for having trap cards in their arsenal, and those trap cards can be activated like in the same turn by banishing the Malice monster like as a cost. The White Rabbit set the TB11 and they're using the TB11 right now, banishing the Dormouse. Uh, for those who are unfamiliar with what Malice does, I guess I can explain everything very quickly. I did do a video talking about Malice a little bit prior, and you should learn about this deck because this deck will be very, very strong when it arrives here in the TCG. Dormouse is the same thing as Ritual Beast Conahawk. It just banishes a Malice monster. Well, I think it banishes any Malice card, and I don't remember. So they use Dormouse effect to banish the White Rabbit, and all the Malice monsters have the effect where you pay 300 life points to special summon themselves from the banish. So they use Dormouse to banish the White Rabbit. White Rabbit activated her banishment effect. She got summoned, and the White Rabbit set the TB11. And what TB11 does, which is the trap card, It can special summon a Malice monster from the deck. If your opponent controls 3 or more cards, you can special summon a Malice from your extra deck instead of from the main deck. Whichever Malice you summon with this cannot activate its effects and cannot attack. That is something to take note of. And it's only during the turn you summon them. So, for example, you can summon a Link 3, keep it on board, and then during the following turn, that Link 3 monster can activate itself. So, yeah, they're doing TB11. Again, all the Malice trap cards can be activated on the same turn they're set, as long as you banish a Malice. So they're banishing Dormouse. And there's someone Cheshire Cat. The Dormouse is going to activate its effect. They're paying 300 life points in order to special summon themselves. So now they're at 74. The Cheshire Cat cannot activate its effects if summoned by the trap card, but it can actually activate its effects later in the turn if they get to a point where they banish it. So they're linking away Dormouse into Link Decoder. Yes, this is a Cyber's archetype. All the Malice monsters are Cyber's type. I don't think we had a tier 1 Cyber's archetype ever since Mathmech and Salamangrate. Marincess is another one, but I don't want to say that Marincess had a very, very strong foothold in the meta. The two more impactful ones were Mathmech and Salamangrate. There's also Added Nestor. That's another Cyber archetype that kind of had its time for a little bit. But yeah, so they're making the Link Decoder. For those who don't know what this card is, this came in Duel Battles of Legends last year. Yeah, if you summon a 2300 Cyber's monster using this card's material, this can reborn itself, and they're mainly using it because it's a Link 1, but it will be relevant once you keep seeing the duel. So yeah, now they're grabbing all 3 materials, and they're summoning Red Ransom. All the Malice Link monsters require at least a Malice monster as material, and Red Ransom is one of them. The Link Decoder is activated from the graveyard. The reason it's activating is because all the Malice Link monsters have 2300 attack points. Normally, you would use Link Decoder whenever you summon Code Talker monsters, because the Code Talker monsters are usually 2300, but Malice monsters conveniently have that same attack stat, meaning it works with the Link Decoder. So they're activating Link Decoder from the graveyard. Link Decoder is going to get special summoned. The Red Ransom also has an effect. The Red Ransom can add you a Malice spell card. They're adding Malice in Underground. They're contemplating on the next play. They're going to Link Summon. The Link Decoder gets banished. They're linking for Appaloosa. Yes, the OCG still has Appaloosa. We don't have Appaloosa anymore, so this play is no longer legal in the TCG. However, we do have other Link 4s to look out for. Access Code is another really good one. Just for an example. So, they're looking at the graveyard. Right now, both White Rabbit and Dormouse have been banished. We still have not banished Cheshire Cat, and we still have not banished the Link 3, so they still have their banishment effects. They're activating Malice in Underground. What Malice in Underground does is that that card can banish a Malice card from your deck, field, hand, or graveyard, if I'm not mistaken. And the other effect of Malice in Underground is if you have 3 banished trap cards, all your Malice monsters, your Link monsters, gain 3000 attack. And I know there's one more effect that I'm missing, but those are the two relevant effects. They're using the first effect to banish the red ransom, and red ransom is the same as all the other malices, but instead of paying 300, you pay 900. So they're going to pay 900. There should be a 65. And Red Ransom, when she is summoned by her banishment effect, she banishes the sabers. So they're going to banish another copy of the Cheshire Cat. Another Cybers monster that other people are playing is Dotscaper. So yeah, they're going to Cheshire Cat's effect. Cheshire Cat is going to special summon. They don't seem to have Malice cards in their hand to banish. So yeah, for those who don't know, Cheshire Cat is technically a Lure of Darkness with Malice cards. You banish a Malice and draw 2 cards. And it's not an unsummon effect. The only unsummon effect of the Malice monsters is the rabbit and the link and some of the link monsters. They summon Splash Mage because again, this is a Cyber's archetype. They're veiling the Splash Mage. They're chaining Appaloosa. They're chaining Infinite Impermanence. And it's very important to stop the Splash Mage because if Splash Mage resolves, this just becomes a snowball effect. This is just going to summon another Malice Link monster. And the more Malice Link monsters you keep summoning, the stronger your endboards will become. It really doesn't matter what your endboard is if you end up having multiple Malice monsters in rotation. I will talk about that in depth in another duel, like in another video. So the Malice player pretty much doesn't have any more plays, so that was a very smart move on the left player's side to just hold their like negations for the Splash Mage because the Splash Mage is a choke point. They even had a way to deal with Appaloosa as well, so now the Appaloosa is also shut down. I don't think they play Zelantis, otherwise they would have switched the Appaloosa into Zelantis. Another thing I have to mention when it comes to Malice is whenever you do the banishment effect of the Malice monsters, you can only link someone from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. So there's no such thing as XYZs or fusions or any of that sort, but you can still make Zelantis over this because it is a link summon. So something to keep in mind. So they're playing against a Primate deck. I already know what deck they're on, but I'll keep it a surprise until you see it. So this is Lord the Load. You probably remember this card. It's a secret rare from Rage of the Abyss. This searches for other Primate cards. They're Ash Blossoming it, and they're cross-outing the Ash Blossom. So they pretty much just want this want that card to resolve. And they're going to add Primate Roar. You probably already know that card also. That card also came out in Rage of the Abyss. They're going to activate the Primate Roar. For those who don't know, you pay 2,000 life points and you special summon a normal monster from your main deck. And if your opponent normal summons a monster and you have a normal monster in your field or graveyard, you can banish the Roar and banish any monster they control with lower attack than the vanilla. So they're going to pay the 2,000, they're going to special their vanilla monster, and long and behold, it's the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And they're normal summoning like the Sage, the White Sage. So yes, this is the Blue Eyes deck. We are receiving the structure deck in 2025. I think it is mid February, if I'm not mistaken, or early February. I know it's in that month. So expect Blue Eyes to be part of the meta again. That I could make a video on that. But let's keep focusing on the match. So the Blue Eyes player, as they contemplate on their plays, they're going to summon the Link Monster. I know that the Link Monster can search you Mausoleum of White, and I know it can Foolish of Blue Eyes. I don't remember everything else from it. They're imperming it, so they're just going to enter battle phase. They're going to run over the Appaloosa, and now they're going to do the other effect of Lordy Load. So Lordy Load can also summon a Vanilla, same thing as the Quick Play spell. However, if you summon from Lordy Load, or I think it's called, you cannot activate monster effects on the field for the rest of the turn. That's why they're keeping that effect for last. And they're summoning Blue Eyes White Spirit, or I think it was called Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Yeah, an old card from 2016. Who remembers this when Blue Eyes was meta? For those who don't know, Blue Eyes did win our World Championships in 2016. And that card was very strong back then. Right back then, our meta was not that impactful. We didn't have that many oppressive decks. I do hope we reach a format like that someday, but it's kind of late for that. So the Maliss player draws for turn. The Splash Mage is a once per turn effect. It's not an unsummon effect, so that's something to keep in mind. They're swapping the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon for the new level 12 Blue Eyes. I know that it's an Omni Negate, and I know that that's pretty much all I know about it. I pretty much have to familiarize myself with the Blue Eyes cards a little bit more in the future. Maliss player is going to activate the Splash Mage. They're letting it resolve. They're contemplating whether or not it resolves, but I think, to my understanding, they do resolve it. Oh, they don't. I think the Blue Eyes negated it. They're normal summoning the Dotscaper. They're just looking at all the primary cards. The primary player, the Blue Eyes player, could have banished the Dotscaper, but the problem is, if you banish the Dotscaper would just come back. But yeah, I think they just forgot about primary roar. I would have used it to banish the Splash Mage. So they're summoning Haggard Lizardos. For those who don't remember, this card was a TCG exclusive for us in Legacy of Destruction. This card is really, really good in the Maliss deck because as a cost, you just banish a monster in your graveyard to target a monster and make its attack the attack of whatever you banished. You can banish the Dotscaper and make it like 100 attack. Essentially, what they're going to do is they're going to banish a Maliss, and it is a cost to banish, so it doesn't really matter if the effect resolves or not. They're reading over the Blue Eyes to make sure that they're not missing anything. So yeah, they're doing the Haggard Lizardos. They banish the Dormouse as cost. They're going to activate Dominance Purge. So you're probably thinking, why can Dominance Purge negate and destroy the Haggard Lizardos? Haggard Lizardos does have an included effect where if you banish a reptile, you can draw one card. And Dominance Purge can negate any effect that includes like adding cards. And since Haggard Lizardos does have that draw application, even though the draw is not guaranteed, it is still an effect included on the card, which makes it so the Purge can negate it. We already have a trap card in the graveyard. They had infinite impermanence from last turn, which means they can destroy the Haggard Lizardos. So the Lizardos gets destroyed by the Dominance Purge. Now in a new chain, we're going to activate the Dormouse. Dormouse is going to get summoned. Dormouse is going to banish from the deck. They're banishing the White Rabbit. They're going to activate White Rabbit's effect. White Rabbit gets summoned. The White Rabbit is going to set from the deck. They're going to set GWC. That's my favorite trap card. GWC can special summon from Banish or Graveyard. And you also gain life for the attack of the monster you're reborn with that card. They're contemplating whether or not to activate it. They have to be careful because time is running on the clock and the judges are like watching the match. They activated GWC. They're going to reborn from the graveyard. They reborn the Red Ransom. They gain 23. Red Ransom is going to add us the Underground. Underground is going to activate. They're probably going to banish the Cheshire Cat. They do banish the Cheshire Cat. They activate the Cheshire Cat's effect. They pay 300. The Cheshire Cat gets summoned. And this is what I mean about Maliss. When I spoke earlier in the duel, I said the more link monsters and the more monsters you have in general, like the better their boards will become. Like you really don't care about the Maliss end board as long as you get all your Maliss monsters into rotation. This deck is incredibly strong at the mid to late game because as long as you can get like banishes properly done with your Maliss monsters, you just have ways to keep recurring cards. So they're contemplating on their exercise options. Remember, this is a Cybers deck, and Cybers decks are known for just spamming very, very powerful link monsters. They're looking at all their options. They summon Neo Tempest, Firewall, Terahertz. They're showing the materials they used for it. Yeah, so Neo Firewall is going to send from the from the asteroid to a graveyard. Honestly, if I were the Malice player, unless I'm missing something that I don't know, I think the best play would have been to just summon access code, use access code effect to banish the Red Ramson and banish the Splash Mage, pop the two monsters. Red Ramson triggers her effect to special summon herself back, and that should have been lethal. Especially since they paid life points for the Primate. But this play is also fine. They're sending Aggregator for Neo Tempest. Neo Tempest can keep ascending from the extra deck, and if I'm not mistaken, every time you resolve that effect, it gains 2500 attack. So they're sending Aggregator. Aggregator is going to negate the Lurdy load on the field. That means they can no longer use this effect to recur Primate cards, and they can no longer use this effect to summon Vanillas. They also have the Deceive Worm. The Deceive Worm can banish itself from the graveyard to control a link for a higher monster to just negate a Spirit Trap. So yeah. They resummon Blue Eye Spirit. They're passing turn. They're going to Terahertz effect. They're going to send any Master Pack Bit. They're going to try to use Pack Bit's effect. They're going to negate it with the Blue Eye Spirit Dragon. Oh, never mind. They actually resolved the effect, sending Kashtira Unicorn. So they are playing the Kashtira build, which kind of makes sense in this deck. The Kashtira monsters are just fodder for your Maliss cards, and they do work with being banished as well. So, yeah, it's kind of weird that they're playing the Kashtira build because if I'm not mistaken, Kashtira Unicorn is still semi-limited or limited in the OCG, and Kashtira Fenrir is forbidden. So that is a very strange engine to be playing like in Malice since it has been very butchered. However, in the TCG, the Kashtira engine is a little bit more viable because we do have Fenrir still at 3 and we still have Pressure Planet still at 3. And we also have Unicorn also at 3. So, yeah, I think the Kashtira engine is fine for in the Malice deck. So yeah, that's the end of the match. Like I said, something really cool that the YCS likes to do is they do a little bit of a showcase with the decks that got shown on the feature matches. Right now, they're explaining Blue Eyes, like you can see here. They're explaining all the Blue Eyes cards, explaining like everything they do, like for like educational purposes. And if we go a little bit forward, I think they already did it for Malice, like another instance. Like here's a screenshot. They also did a showcase for Malice. I think Malice already had a feature match. That's why they're not showing just Malice at the moment. They're showing Blue Eyes. But yeah, this is YCS Osaka. At least one of the rounds. I hope you found this informative to your liking and understanding. I am going to showcase you more videos involving Malice. I have been testing the deck. I really, really like that deck. And whether or not you're going to be a Malice Andy like me, I think you should learn what the archetype does before its debut in December. Otherwise, you probably won't be winning a lot of games. That's it from me. Keep practicing and keep dueling.